And example problem number 2, using a table. What is a simpler form of x minus 3 times 4x minus 5? What we know are these are both binomials, and they are factors, meaning they're being multiplied. What we need is the product of the binomials, right? Product and answer in a multiplication problem. And we need to write that in standard form. Our plan is to use a table. So we make a table of products, much like seen on the previous slide. We have some row headers, x and negative 3, to represent x minus 3. Column headers of 4x and negative 5 to represent 4x minus 5. And then we multiply these, much as you would filling out times tables. X times 4x is 4x squared, x times negative 5, negative 5x, negative 3 times 4x, negative 12x, and negative 3 times negative 5, 15. Adding all of these things together and combining like terms, we arrive at the solution of 4x squared minus 17x plus 15. So another valid approach to finding the simpler form or the product of two binomials. And here's your chance to demonstrate that you have got it. What is a simpler form of 3x plus 1 and x plus 4? Use a table and decide between the choices at the bottom. So here are some more ways to consider multiplying binomials using the area definition. So there's a shortcut you can use to multiply two binomials. Consider the product of 2x plus 2 and x plus 3. The large rectangle below models this product. You can divide the large rectangle into 4 smaller rectangles. And take a look at what happens. The area of each rectangle is the product of one term of 2x plus 2 and one term of x plus 3. So what we have here is a very visual representation of multiplying or distributing both terms from the first binomial to both terms from the second binomial. And that leads us on to problem number 3, using FOIL. The area model illustrates another way to find the product of two binomials. You find the sum of the products of the first terms, the outer terms, the inner terms, and the last terms. Note the F, the O, the I, and the L, and that acronym spells FOIL. That's an acronym you'll hear many times throughout the rest of your mathematics career. This acronym FOIL may help you remember this method. What FOIL does is it really helps you, it gives you an order, not necessarily the only order in which to multiply terms, but an order to make sure that you've multiplied each term times each term that it must be multiplied by. So what is a simpler form of 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 1? Well, we'll use FOIL, and we will distribute we'll multiply the first terms, 5x and 2x, and notice these are called the first terms because they are the first in each of their respective binomials. 5x being the first term in 5x minus 3, and 2x being the first term in 2x plus 1. Then we move on to the outer terms, marked here in blue, 5x times plus 1. Notice these are called the outer terms because in terms of, or referencing, all 4 terms, the 5x, the minus 3, the 2x, and the plus 1, we would consider 5x and 1 to be the outer terms, so the ones on the outside when we consider this whole expression. The inner terms, much like the outer, but the inner terms, labeled here in purple, would be the negative 3 and the 2x. And again, in reference to all of that expression, 5x and 1 would be the outer terms, negative 3 and 2x would be the inner terms, and finally the L in FOIL is for the last terms, outlined here in green. In terms of each binomial, negative 3 and 1 are the last terms. Again, notice negative 3 is the last term in the binomial 5x minus 3, and 1 is the last term in the binomial 2x plus 1. So having identified and then multiplied our first, outer, inner, and last terms, we arrive at this expression. Combine like terms to arrive at the simplified version, and we find the product is 10x squared minus x minus 3. So here is your chance to show that you've got it. Question 1 of 3 for this got it. What is a simpler form of 3x minus 4 times x plus 2? Use the FOIL method and choose your answers from the options below. Question 2 of 3. What is a simpler form of n minus 6 times 4n minus 7? Use the FOIL method. For your information, you may be simply asked to find a product. The directions may not say what is a simpler form of n minus 6 times 4n minus 7. You could be asked instead, just find the product, or simplify, or multiply. Those are all asking you to do the same thing, and the FOIL method is just the most common method that we're going to use when multiplying binomials. And got it, question 3 of 3. What is a simpler form of 2p squared plus 3 and 2p minus 5? Use the FOIL method, and in this case be extra careful of that exponent 2. 2p squared times 2p. Remember properties of exponents and multiply carefully, simplify, and select your answer from the choices below.